Everybody, welcome to another day of Cosmoteer. Today we're going to be working on and building a mining laser ship that we've been playing in No Pause Cosmoteer laser focus ships. So what I want to do over here is we're going to pull in a ship, and this is the ship that we need to work on that needs actually a decent amount of help, mainly from the back and then maneuverability. So one of the things that you'll see here is they have a whole bunch of huge engines in the back. Now the huge engines in the back are nice for max speed, but they have a very slow up ramp. So the first thing that I'm going to want to do to this ship is, I know the max speed right here is above 90. Here, let me just showcase that. If we take this ship and we pull this in, we come over here to my ship, CW4. We take this ship in, and this is the ship we're going to work on. So if you fly it like this, you notice that its max speed goes all the way up, and we're going to basically chop that max speed by 5 points or more, so it goes about 90.7. But we are going to take the max speed down to improve its maneuverability. So to improve its maneuverability, we're going to change this to large engine, and we're going to change this to standard engine. And what this will do is it will allow me to quicker turn and move around asteroids and everything else. So that's the first thing we need to do. Okay. So now that we have this, you can see we cut the speed down to basically 3 points. But what we've done here is if I stop him and I can rotate him, the turn speed's a lot faster and you can maneuver around asteroids a lot better. So that's going to help that part out, because we already have forward-facing just large thrusters, but then giving a large thruster with this one is a good placement for that. The other thing that we need to do here is the back armor. Now this looks fancy and nice, and I like that it's a straight line on a 40-degree angle ship. But the biggest problem here is we need actual real armor in the back, because without real armor in the back, the ship will not function fully if it gets destroyed. And we'll put a double piece here. And then we can start ripping off this back part. And then we're going to come over here, we're going to add in some other type of armor just to make it a little bit more smoother. And then one of the biggest issues that you have is these breakpoints right here. So what I found is the cheapest, best way to attach it is just to put these little triangle pieces right here. And that way, even if they destroy this, there's still a little bit more attachment there. Now it'd be nice to actually add a little bit more to put this in, but I think this defense right here is going to add just enough for it. Now we are probably going to add just a tiny bit more armor as well, just because. So we're going to come over here and we're going to add this section right here. And we'll add another one right here to help protect this just a little bit more. And that gives it a little bit more protection in the back. Now I would actually want to cover this up some too, is what I'm thinking. But let's just see how that does. We don't want to add too much weight to it because it's mainly made for a scout / moving. So let's just see what the speed is now. 86.1. Still not bad, but the main use case scenario is for it to fly around asteroids and maneuver a little bit better. So what we're going to do is we're going to save this as 1.3. And we're going to check to see just if this improves it even enough. So we'll put in 1.3. We'll pull in 2 of these guys. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make a built-in ship. We're going to take a Cabal, Polaris, and we're going to pull in this ship right here. Now what should happen is the maneuverability should be a little bit better as far as swing, so the swing is a little bit better. Still pulls me a little kind of far away. I'm noticing the point defenses are not going to be enough for just 2 of these guys versus Polaris, but we're looking at movement right now. We're going to pull out a 3rd one and also see if it gets stuck, because we may have to smooth this back part out too. And I can see right here this ship got annihilated right here, so there's no protection, so there actually needs to be some protection for this part right here. So that's what we need to change, so let's go ahead and change that. Let's change it right now. I knew this was a weak point, so let's just change this, give it a tiny bit more protection, make this 1.4. Back to PWIP4. Let's stick it in here. Okay, we'll take 4 of these guys. I wish there was a faster way to put these in. I don't think there is. Okay, 3 of these ships versus a Polaris. Now we can see real movement and see how this actually functions. The nice thing about all this is now they should be able to move around a little bit better. Yeah, they swing around. I'm not liking this wide swing because you see it takes them out of range for the mining lasers. Now they got stuck, but they should be able to get themselves unstuck really quickly, which they just did. Back armor's doing not bad. Point defenses are having a little bit of issues here and there versus the Polaris, but they're still holding their own. I noticed that these ran out of energy. It didn't do enough burst damage right there to take out the main part. Movement-wise, I'm liking the movement-wise. We did sacrifice speed, but that is okay. We were sacrificing speed for maneuverability, which is also another thing that I'm going to want to work on as well for the bigger mining laser one as well, is we may have to sacrifice more top speed for maneuverability, which is very important for these ships. Right now, one of the ships that has definitely proven itself is not this one. This one you can see already has some problems here and there, but this is just a 50 crew ship. And I need some kind of back way to get to these engine rooms. There needs to be a secondary, because once you lose this section right here, then this engine room's cut off and then it's basically severed. Something like this. So not enough protection back here. So we're going to add a little bit more protection here. A little bit more protection here. But so far, just 3 of these guys is actually taking on the players. It took almost all the missiles out. This one still has a few more missiles here and there. But 3 of these guys are still functioning. This guy's not flying right anymore because he lost all his engine rooms. So protection to the engine room, so we still have movement. You see this, guys? This guy almost received almost no real damage, just only frontal armor. And still has the full movement and can still fly around and flies around decent. This guy's crippled because he doesn't have a full engine room, so we need to fix this armor section right here. And then fix a few other things. So let's fix that right now that we see where the biggest problems are. So let's take this ship right here, let's edit it, and let's start fixing this armor right here. So this is the biggest issue for armor. So I know this was designed that way. So what we're gonna do is one piece there and a piece here and here. Bring that up. This is still angled that way. This should give it just a little bit more extra armor. I am concerned about this right here. So I actually kind of want to move this. Think of where I want to put it. I want this to be armor. But I'm trying to find out where I want to put these 2 guys. These guys are, hold on, let's do that. These are white guys. Is there any dedications for them? There are none. So this could, we're gonna change this. This is gonna move like this. Put the doors on the inward side. This is gonna go like this. And then that can be armor. Okay. Let's resave this ship. 1.5. And then I was discussing a few other things that I want to. I know I want to fix that. This is this. Point defenses are fine. This I actually might want to add a little bit more this way. So I have the defense this way, but we don't have any defense from this way, from this angle. So this is a nice piece, but we're actually going to extend that just a little bit. Put this piece back in. And then now we have a little bit extra just to point it out. I don't like that. Too pointy. Let's just give it that way. That gives us just a tiny bit extra for defense this way. We'll see how that does. Resave this over 1.5. Okay, get rid of all these guys and let's test this again at 1.5. And then we're going to want to fix the other laser ship too. Mainly thrusters. We're going to take away max speed, but give it more maneuverability. And then we can battle test it in the actual game. So we added more protection here, we changed the thrusters. It gives it a different movement. We added more weight, so you can see they fly differently already just from the weight that we added. But what should happen here is an extra defense. We'll see where the AI rips apart one of these ships. Honestly, mining lasers have been very impressive for just a normal gameplay without, it's not on Grand App. Now this might not be enough defense, but you can see right here, ripped apart this, so this was just enough to take a barrage, which is good. And then there's still this extra armor right here to kick it even more. This is without power, so we might have to fix the roll priorities. Okay, this is the one where we'll see how much damage it takes. You see the engine room's not gone, and the walkway is still kind of tiny there, which is what we want. We want it to take damage, but the engine room still is accessible, but now it's cut off. So a back way to that would be helpful on that ship. And then it's having a little bit of troubles here and there maneuvering around its own ships. Point defenses are handling, that's handling. We're just seeing where the damage gets placed, and if the point defenses are just enough. It's just barely enough to handle a Polaris with all of its missiles. One ship did get annihilated, but that's okay. When the defenses are put, we're going to change some more things on it to make it just a little bit better, and it looks like they just won by taking out that power plant. And then they just had to take out the command deck. So, still not bad. What I may want to do here is smooth this out and or add. And what I'm thinking here is for the catching ability. So this right here needs to be frames. Is it this piece I'm looking for? This is the piece I'm looking for. And this needs to just be frames. We have to fix that a little bit more later. Let's see how that does. And then this is smooth. Technically don't even need, but we're gonna make one long piece here, kind of just like that. Go to 1.6, see if I messed it up. I know we're making the ship a lot slower, but it can still stay with the fleet. I had a ton more protection here. This is just for the engine room protection. Point defenses. That should still work. It should all still work. Okay, watch that got destroyed. This got wiped out. But I just don't want it to cut off in full. So we see the armor is just enough for that. There's enough to still protect this shield right here. This extra right here is just so we don't get caught into there. We may need to move up actually. The engine room is still there. It didn't fully lose the engine room, so it still has maneuverability because it's still attached. So that's still nice with the extra armor. This one right here has no power because it got hit by EMP. But we gotta change the priorities so that this gets fixed because nobody's giving power to the engine room. So we're gonna have to look at priorities on that one, which I'm going to assume is white. It's white. So this one right here. We're just making sure that everything's still functioning, and everything still is. They're still flying. They're still maneuvering around each other. Decent. I think it's actually performing as expected at this point. I'm liking what's changed. Engine rooms took too long to come back up, so it's going to be these white guys because it's all white crew. dedication is probably gonna have to refix on this. But we need to check here, job priorities, engines. Engine room is a 10 for operate and an 8 for supply battery. And it's a 9 and an 8, 9 and 8. Actually, that is right. I do remember changing that so that it would be that way, but they're not staying with it. To beat a Polaris with 3 of these guys and still have all 3 of them still functioning is actually really good. I'm gonna call that decent for right now. I don't even know the max speed right now, but we definitely added a lot of extra weight on this ship. So let's check the max speed on this thing real quick. Max speed 84.3. So we took it down by literally 6 points. It was going 90 before. I would like to give this one more speed, but now it's more tanky. It's not as speedy, but it's definitely more tanky. Now the other ship that we want to work on is not in PWI 4. Let's actually start saving this one in the normal. Let's take 1.6 and put it in here. Okay, let's come back over here and let's go find 115. Okay, so 115, this one right here is what we've been using in the actual game. I know we were 114, and this one's got this tiny little extra improvements that we did on it. 114 has performed really well, and you see it goes 90. But we're probably going to strip it down to go... I like the max speed to be able to catch those faster ships, so 90 is like the bare minimum. So this ship, even though we gave it more maneuverability, we may change this back to huge thrusters. Let's just change it back to huge thrusters and see just how much worse it's actually going to go. And that's going to mess up this armor, which we have to redo the whole entire armor now. Other way. Other way. That way, and then... we're actually going to get rid of that. We're going to change this, put this as this. That looks so weird. Looks better. Alright. What kind of max speed do we got now that these are huge? Just to get rid of those doors. Take that one off. Don't need this one. Get that door. Okay. 87.3. We'll save this as a 6.1.1. Let's even see where it's saving it. 6. So this one is... that's the cannon, this is the laser. We need to change its color. Color-wise, we like you. We're gonna paint you red. And save ya. Alright. Now that we know this one goes 90 and this one goes 3 slower, I guess it's gonna be okay because it's not a main one. It's more of a support one. We'll take in the red one and let's see how if we messed it up. We still have the old version, and this is the other version with the huge thrusters. Huge thrusters are nice for max speed, but they don't give you that quick burst of speed. But with the actual engine rooms, it could still actually function just fine. You still have a hard time maneuvering around asteroids. We just lost this whole section there. I'm liking maneuverability over the large thrusters because you can see right here they're lolling around. They're having a harder time maneuvering around and getting in position. And so when you're playing the career game, when you're trying to maneuver around asteroids and everything else, these main guys are meant to tie up and move around. So even though they're slower than the main battleships, maneuverability is such an important part of being able to do combat. and I'm just watching how they're moving. So with just the large thrusters alone, it's not moving the way that I want it to move. Because you can see right here, and right here. Yeah, you see how you're here? And then it's not quickly getting back into battle, and then this engine room cut off too. Where the Polaris is able to move around all my guys, and my guys are just lolling around. So this is why the huge thrust, this is what I was seeing was the problem with this ship. Lots of huge thrusters, but not enough of the regular large heavy thrusters and then standard thrusters for maneuverability. So you can put a whole bunch of huge thrusters on your ships, which are these ones right here, huge thrusters, but they have a very slow uptick. Good max speed, but slow uptick. And so when you're in combat and in battle, they don't perform as well as coming back to here. Just watch the difference. I know we're comparing them side by side. This is better. Slower max speed, but better when you actually get into combat, which is what really matters. Flying around at a decent fast speed is nice and all, but unless you can come over here, unless you can maneuver in combat, you're gonna have problems. And see how quicker they move? Yes, they did that little arc, but once you see right here, you can see the maneuverability. They can get into the position that you want them to, so I'm always controlling my ships, right? And you see how they can swing faster? That's what you want. And they can stay within combat range of the Polaris so they can constantly do damage. And as a mining laser, you gotta have to be close enough. See, this guy got out of range, but he'll quickly maneuver and get back into range because of the thrusters, the different type of thrusters. I'm not liking that I don't have any guys dedicated to the engines though. We're gonna actually change one of these priorities and make sure the engine rooms are always powered, because you can see right here, without power to the engine rooms, it's not maneuvering correctly. So the other change we're gonna do here too, let's make the change right now, is we're gonna do this too. We're gonna edit it, we're gonna take this, we're going to take the default role, we're gonna duplicate this role, we're gonna change the role, we're gonna make this an orange team. This is going to be engine rooms. Can't spell. Engine room supply. And then we're going to change the job priorities. And the things we're going to change in this is still all going to be the same, except this will be an 8 and this will be a 10. So engine room supply. Wait, I have 2 of these guys like that? Supply engines. I know I already made one like that too. It's okay. We'll just take this one, and we're going to take those guys are the operators for the engine rooms, and these guys right here will be for that. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to take these guys and we're going to say you're dedicated to that. They won't be operators, but they'll be supplying them. And so what will happen here is when we save this ship, 0.7, see if we broke it. 1.7, we need to change the color on it. Okay, let's just see. They have nobody in there. What? Ah. Fine. Try that, and then those guys are the other guys that are running around. Try that. Paint it another color. Alright, give this another shot. Okay, we got operators, which are those white guys, and then we got these other guys that are going to just run to give power to the engine rooms. And we'll see just if we messed this up in full, or what did we do. Shields are running out of power here and there, but that's okay. At least we still got movement. One laser is out of power on that one. Okay, that ran out of power, but then quickly got back up. All lasers are working on this, all lasers are working on that. This one, the shield's down, but that's okay. Still have movement. I know that took it out. It's because you're going to power those engines back on so it can move again. That's good. Some of the lasers are not always firing because it took away the crew members to keep doing it, but that's okay. Movement is far more important than damage in this scenario. And you can see right here, very minimum damage in all of them. They all maneuver where they need to be. And yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, now that that's all set, what I want to do is I want to make sure these guys have dual purpose. So even though they're doing this engine room, if the engine room goes out, I want you to also take care of the shields. Not those ones, those ones. No, those are a 10. Just his back shields. Okay, this. That should work. Let's double check to see what you have here. We're going to change this. The shields are going to actually take down from 8 to a 7 to a 7. There we go. One priority less. And that should work. Okay, that should work. Save ship design, save it right over 1.7. Okay, I like that. I'm liking. Alright, let's go ahead and move back over to 1.5. 1.7, I didn't color it. No, that's the other one. This is the correct one. 1.6, I am going to get rid of 1.6 already. And we'll leave with these two. These are the two different ones. 1.61, which is the huge thrusters. 1.7 has the other thrusters, which go slower. So 115. What I was thinking of doing to this one was changing this one as well for thrusters. But I actually like the huge thrusters being because it has 4 engine rooms compared to just the 2 engine rooms. And what I was thinking of doing to this one, and I did try this before, because I've made a lot of different versions, is actually replace this with huge thruster and then a standard thruster. But we cut the speed by significantly when we do that. But we do add maneuverability to it. But so far, this ship alone has performed very well. Now, the only other thing that we haven't done either is we also haven't put in a sensor. Now, we put the sensor over here in the game, and it's been playing through the whole game. But when the sensor's right here, because it's a top-facing, and if you come over here and look at the top-facing, these are top-mounted, a sensor also pops up. So these lasers and these lasers, so 4 lasers, they don't shoot through the sensor, so they're always shooting at weird angles. So the one ship that has a sensor on it, with the sensors on top right here, this is not a good placement for it. I would like to put it somewhere back here, but as you notice, then once I do this, I got to change all the back armor for it. But this is where I'm thinking the sensor should go, is somewhere like back here. I would put it here, it doesn't look right, I could put it back here. So we're just going to attempt it and see what happens. Well, then we have to fix all of the back, everything on this thing. This exposes it big time. And now we got to fix all this back here. I want to layer stack this a little bit at least. And then this can be something like that. It's got a circle, this has got this one, then it's got that one. And then this is a triangle piece. And this can actually be a different piece. It can be like that. That smooths it out. Okay, now we got to get rid of 4 points. Now the 4 points we're going to get rid of, which we're going to sacrifice for this, is this one right here. It's nice to have 2, but we only really need 1. And that will complete that. And then we got to add the 2 extra crew members in. So we need to add in one of these. And if memory serves me right, I stuck them right here. And then those 2 guys have to be dedicated to that. And then these guys have to give power. And then this right here has to edit the role, and this one we have to change to make sure we're not crewing it, because I don't want to crew the sensor array. Both be 4. I actually don't want you to operate at all. And you guys right here for the sensor array, a 9 and a 6. And elk. And then those two guys are dirty. Those good. Okay, perfect. And then save the ship. This is going to be 1.6. Take a look at 1.6 and see what it does. Okay. Make sure the crew is the right crew in the right place. So that's the 2, that's the 2, and then the yellow guys will come and that's going to supply battery. That's good. And there, now we're not blocking. And it should work. Seeing them walk in the back here, and I'm not liking that. Oh, I already knew I was going to get destroyed. I can't do a one-on-one with that thing. But what I was looking here is the power for this. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come over here and going to wipe out the doors on this side. We're going to actually take this and we're going to do something like this. Cover that up. So we just got one way in, and then this, and then we're going to change the priority for these. Power-wise, we need to make sure you're actually giving power to that thing. So this is a 4, and the mine lasers is a 10. So this actually needs to be a little bit more. We'll give it a 6. Let's try that. Resave it over 1.6. Try that again. Because I don't want the guys walking back here. I want them to stay in their section. And that's not good. So this whole part fell off once it lost this point and this point. So this part fell off. The sensors, okay, sensors ran out of power. And what should happen here is if it runs out of power, okay, the white guy should come and they should repower it. Okay, that will still work. That will still work for the sensor array. I don't mind that. 1.6, okay, we'll take 2 1.6s and 1.6s, I mean. Let's see, I know 2 of these guys can definitely take out a Polaris. What I wanted to see was make sure the sensor array is powered with this tiny bit extra crew. They can take out all the missiles, just one of these ships, which is I really, really like. All on one ship. We got sensor array so we can fight on those blue clouds. So this is a very nice ship to fight on those blue clouds. So when we do another No Pause Grand Admiral Engage, maybe in 2025 or whenever we're going to do the next one, the sensor arrays can definitely add extra to the blue clouds. Because I've never played with sensor arrays, but this ship is definitely a combat ship with sensor arrays, got a little bit of cargo, has enough point defenses, has a decent amount of maneuverability, but I really would like to change the maneuverability on it somehow. Because it doesn't fly around asteroids very well. But I really like the 90 speed top speed so that you can catch those kiters and other things. And you can see 2 of these guys perform extra well versus a Polaris, all on its own. I'm not liking this part. This is 2 lost points over here, so we gotta connect this just a little bit better. But yeah, they beat the Polaris. Okay, good. Exactly what I was expecting. this, we need to fix this attachment point and this attachment point. So this right here is not enough, even though I attached it like that. This needs just a little bit more attachment. And I'm going to attach this thing. Let's think about this. I'm thinking. Let's do that to that. And then this is this attachment. So instead of one of those, we are going to actually attach it just a tiny bit better with one of these. Let's try that. Do 1.7. All right. My biggest concern now is with 1.117. What's your top speed? Are you still in the 90? All the extra weight we added? 89.7. So now we gotta rip off more weight. So I wanted to at least go 90. We're gonna have to rip off more weight. Alright, let's edit this ship again. Let's go see where we can take off more weight. So I know I did this. I like this double layer. So for people that are getting a closer look at this now, you see this double layer, and then I reverse it, double layer, reverse double layer, reverse double layer, reverse double layer in this way. You didn't need this extra point right here. I found that this head does really good versus other kind of ships. So it actually makes it so it's better. I've tried so many times to wipe this out to smooth out the head, but this pointed head that holds it built right here is actually, I still haven't found a better way to make a better head. But what I want to do here is we got to figure out a way to reduce the weight. And I'm thinking here, 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 and or I like the armor there. This is armor. We can actually start wiping out some of this empty space. Let's try that. Take this and wipe this out. Take off this and wipe this out. And see if that gives me the extra weight that I'm missing. 89.9. Okay. I've always liked this armor right here, but I'm tempted to remove it. Let's toss it out. Let's just see what it does. Okay, that gives me my 90.2. And we got a bunch of dead space there. But that's what we wanted to do, so we're going to save this ship. We're going to save this as 118. Now we're going to go battle test it to see if I broke it. 118. Alright, here we go. 118. Liking it. I'm liking that. I don't know if I like removing this armor. We're gonna see it soon once I hit through this. So you see this? I removed the armor right here, but that armor really did play a key point in the second layer of defense for this. So you didn't lose the whole ship. So instead of one layer, I'm thinking 2 layers, I'm thinking just gonna put 1 layer of armor there. That way you still have this separation. You see this armor right here? This still protected the back of the ship. It actually played a purpose. It was there for a reason. So I think I'm gonna put it back in. Okay, this is a good point for it to show where it takes damage in the back. It took damage there, it's gonna take damage here. It's still doing okay. I know it's covered by another ship. I still feel like this is the bare minimum amount of armor in the back. Yeah, we'll put back one layer of armor. So what we're going to do over here is we're going to take this, we're going to put in the one piece of armor. We're going to stick it right... Want to stick it here or want to stick it here? I'm going to stick it there. And then this right here, I know there's this piece right there. That was to reduce the weight. Nope, didn't like that. Okay, leave that like that. Save this again. We'll go to 1.9. I'll test it again. I really want to fix the thrusters on it, but we've already used all the command points. And all we can do now is just replace and readjust positioning. But I really like the placement of these. Look at the small one and the bigger one. If anything, I could reverse those. We'll see. I'm liking that big swing. That worked out pretty well. Except for two. Okay, that armor right there. And I still lost this whole section here. But it's mainly the angle that is put. Would love to put more armor here. The back armor is still held up. Back armor is still held up. Okay. Let's truly test the back armor now. This is totally fine the way that is. Truly test the back armor is we're now going to put it against ships that will purposely rip it apart. And this is where we can take 1.7. I'll take two 1.7s. We'll face it against two 1.7. I know there's a lot of debris on this. Let's clear objects, let's clear everything. Give it another shot. Okay. So we really want to see the back armor and if the back armor is enough. And the best way to test it is you give it against two ships or multiple ships, 3 or 4. And we test to see where is the AI going to shoot at. We already know that it's going to shoot at this and it's going to take that out. But with the AI, what this is aiming at was aiming at this, but only took out one mining laser. And now it's shooting at the back, which is fine. Didn't take it out. We knew that was a drop point for these pieces. Wish I could find a better way to attach it. Alright, the AI is going to take out point defenses. Now it's flying fully behind. It's still aiming at engine rooms. Now it's aiming at here. So this right here on the first mining lasers may need a tiny bit more defense. I'd actually be impressed if this one ship beats even one of these other ships, because normally in most testing, 2 of these guys can wipe out this ship without any problems. Back armor is doing fine. Side. At this point, if you haven't already beaten the battle, we knew that this is a weak point for the first one, so this needs a tiny bit more armor. It's in between a half and a half, okay? It's doing surprisingly well. It already took out the power plant on this one, so that ship has no more power. Yeah, see, ship ran out of power. And now this ship's stuck on this other ship, but this one's got good maneuverability, so it's purposely tying up this other ship. I'm actually impressed that it took out one of those. honestly, if this ship still stays in the front, this ship still has the whole back and everything. But it keeps getting in at an angle. Alright, we'll speed this up. I just want to see what the end of this fight will be. Times 4. That was not expected. I didn't expect this one ship to beat 2, but it just did. That is impressive. I'll give it something it can't beat. Okay, 3 of these guys, we know that this right here is not enough armor. So what we can do is this can move probably down. And then this can be a 2-piece. That's a 3-piece. This can move down. And then this can be... and then a single piece. 1.9. Let's say this is a 1.91. I was already happy with 119, but let's go to the next layer up. Now 3 of these guys, there's no way it can beat 3. It doesn't have the burst damage for it, but what we're really testing is the back armor right here. I want to see where they're going to hit. Front armor we already know is getting pounded, but it's decently tanking in the front. This is the worst angle for it to be in. Right here is going to take it out. Yeah, it's going to take that out, and then that ship's already lost in the front. The back, they didn't get to test it well enough. But they're not aiming at that anymore, they're aiming at this, so I think that's enough armor just right there. We actually reduced the weight. Let's fix that right now, actually. Because of this, right here, I'm going to actually delete this spot. That's just extra weight. We'll see how that does. Resave that over 191. Try that again. They're hitting the back arm, they're hitting this part. You see he's got the extra protection, which is what I added there, even though they aimed at that one, so that's good. So this laser's still there, even though they aimed at it. We already know that's the weakest point on the ship if you can get angled in at this section. But it is protected with layers and layers of shields. And most of the time when you're playing a game, you're not going to stay at that angle for as long as you can. The back, they already cut that off. Yeah, I think the back has enough armor now and everything else. I think that's pretty good for the testing of being attacked by a massive amount of ships. The other thing we want to test is its speed, so let's go full speed. We go just 90. Okay, that's what I wanted. At least going 90. We use all the points, we have full sensor array. I'm really liking this ship. I am really liking this ship. And I can already tell I can move this the other way and make that a walkway. I'm going to make another improvement. We're going to make one more improvement here. We're going to take this, and this is going to rotate that way. And that will make this so much better. And then we're just gonna put door and another door, just in case it goes in and out, in and out. Okay, that will work. And get rid of this one. In and out, down, like this, like this, like this. Actually, no, it's better to have one door here because it's in and out like that. Yeah, we don't even need this extra door. Okay, in and out, and then extra 2. Oh yeah, that's better. $1192. Now we won't have engine problems at all. We can just walk all the way through, supply that. I'm liking it. Oh yeah, I'm liking that a lot. Okay, just watching how they were walking to make sure the supply was going. So these guys supply the back, these guys supply the back and the front. It works so much better this way. And then I changed the priorities, and these guys also help supply these. I took out the priority and changed the priority on those, and then this is I'm liking this ship a lot. Just in case I didn't save it properly. I could technically attach this better this way. That's what I should do. We're just looking at this. So this right here, the attachment, even though I smoothed out this edge, this can be, instead of a 3, I could attach it this way, right? 3 and a 2, I was gonna add a weird point there. Or I could attach this way. I gotta think of how I want to attach this. This is not so... I'll take this back to a triangle. So reduce its weight. We attach that one, attach this one, and then this right here, this is an attachment point that we could... We can do this. This can be a double point. Then this can be a tour. And then this can now attach better this way. There we go. Now this will be attached better this way, and then this one... We're just gonna do that. Did I reduce its weight too much? 89.7. I just gave it too much more extra weight. That needs that, that needs that. This is this. That's empty space. Not going 90 anymore. What more weight can I cut off on this thing without reducing its protection too much? We'll change this back. This doesn't need to be armor, this is going to be one of these. I like this piece there, that gives a better back protection. We're 89.7. Ah, too much extra weight. $89.9. Maybe rip off one more. I'm thinking about adding in more frames. No, I don't want to add. I can reduce the protection in the front. This I can add. There you go, 90. And save it by 3. Okay, get rid of these. Go to point 3. And we'll take the Polaris again. Don't want to make sure I didn't break it. I already know one can't handle one of this on the front to front, but we're gonna see where it devastates it. Or is it gonna break it? That piece got disconnected, but this is what's holding it in the back. Something like this that got disconnected. And then it's gonna lose that right there, but it's still connected. Still lost it right there. So even though I added this extra right there, it didn't do too much more. It still lost it. But we'll see this again. We'll test this again. This might be useless. Probably is useless, honestly. I want you to hit that point right there. Rip it off. Either or. That's holding on. This is still holding on. Okay, there. Now it fell this off. That little piece of armor. It should be an armor piece and not just a frame. It's kept it on for a little bit longer, but it's not ideal. And then the back got it wiped out on this ship. Not ideal at all. Let's go back to, I think it was 2 or 1? 1192. Okay, we loaded in 112. This one has a little bit... Sorry, I didn't fix this. This attachment right here. I don't know if those frames even do anything good for it. So it still lost its wing. The weight increase makes it doesn't fly as good, so I think we need to fix this and fix this. That's its biggest weak point right now from everything else that's on it. Trying to think of how to attach this wing section and this wing section. So 1193 is a scrap. Don't like 1193, we're already going to get rid of 1193. We'll take in 1191 as well. Let's see what 1191. What was 1191? Still had those frames, still had this. Okay, well, can't remember everything I did, so take back to 1192. I'll remove some stuff over there. This frame, and then that. It's a long one. It's a short one. There's the armor. For this instead of that, what I'm thinking I want to do is just add this as an armor. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take this ship right here, we're gonna edit it. We're going to come over here and we're going to replace this and this. And we're gonna take this as a double piece of armor. And that's how it will attach. And then we'll take a frame and we'll stick it. That way it's an actual full armor piece. I mean, it can still get detached here, but at least you give more protection to the point defenses. I think that will be... I think it's 1191. I don't want 1191. I want to do this 1192. Wrong one! Okay, let's get off of 1191. Restart the battle. Let's only edit 1192. 1192 is where we're going to change this to that. So, pause the game. This is this. Wipe off this. Put in triangle sections. I don't need that one there. There, that's attached that way. Save this ship. 1193. Double check 1193. Minor details at this point. 1193. Fix that, fix that. That's there, that's attached there. Oh, it's gonna hit really hard on this side right there. But it didn't lose it, because it has enough shields. It's gonna pound on this guy. Didn't lose the wing. Or that wing. Okay, that's a win on that one. That one's good. What is the max speed on this now? Check it. We might have to just live under the 90. 89. 89.8. 89.8. For the extra protection there, the extra attachment for the wings. That gets the protection there. We could still rip off this extra right here. Which gives me 89.9. Try that again. Pounded on the back, which is fine. That attachment didn't lose. Okay, that's good. Still getting hit from the back over there too again. Didn't lose either one of those, so that's good. This is still attached. Still that wing is attached, so that's good. So the thrusters are still protected. It was semi-protected, not heavily protected. It's still one. So I think we're going to call this as the ship that we want. This is the ship we're going to go with. Yep. I like how it flies. I like its maneuverability. It's now actually got a position sensor array in the proper spot. Why are they powering that thing? We need to make sure that that is set to a lower priority because you shouldn't be doing that in the middle of combat. Which is energy manipulation. This should be probably a 3. Yeah, as long as they're not fighting, then you can use that. But if these are fighting, then they should not. Should not be doing that. Okay, we repair this. And resave this one. We'll call that good. Alright, that's all set, that's all set. Okay, I think that is decent edits to those. Now the one other ship that we want to edit to, which I don't think there's enough time on this to do this, but this is this one right here, which is the double laser ship. Now this one I've already worked on and put more armor back here and put more armor here. And what I want to really find out is, what is this? It's not there. No, it's in PWA. It's still a work in progress. Wrong button click. Okay, PWIP, this one. Now this one's max speed is 90.1. So this one's going the speed that I want it to go at. And it's got point defenses and everything else. And then I added the extra armor back here to give it the protection. So this one might actually be done too, but it still needs to be tested. Now this one's a 76 cruise ship. The one's so we got a 108, a 76, and a 50 cruise ship. So this one actually might work. Now just so you guys can see the differences, and I know I keep working these mining lasers, but each one of these mining lasers are better than their original. So if you take the 1.7 and you take the deck cannon one, single deck cannon one, which we've also edited a lot too, this mining laser ship should beat this ship in a 1v1. And you would think that the deck cannon should win all the time, but that's not the case. The case is these mining lasers, for whatever reason, and I'm thinking it has to do with the fact that you see deck cannons, every time it fires, every time they pause, then it's also restricted by ammo. Where the mining lasers, as long as they have power, they'll constantly keep firing. And I have this issue right here with that. It's not powered. So that's got my concern too. But sacrifice a tiny bit of damage for everything else. I'm just going to double check this roll. What do we have for mining lasers? A 9 and an 8. And then shields is an 8 and a 10. Maybe we'll take this back down to a 9. No, we wanted that to be 10. I purposely changed it to 10. It was a 9 before, but I want the larger shields to be up all the time. I also want the mining lasers to be up all the time too, but it's whatever it can handle. Alright, we'll speed this up just so you guys can see it. Times 4. What should happen here is it should wipe all this out. And the one concern about here with this one is this empty space right here is it can still lose, so we need to fill that in. So I'm probably gonna have to work on that smaller laser one more. This one does win a lot, not all the time, but this ship right here, which we've worked on the most, versus the original 4 cannon one. I guess it's not the original one anymore, but it's been changed a lot. So this one right here, this ship, I do believe wins a decent amount, or it should. I guess we'll speed this up to find out. Normally I watch it at 1x speed and I'm editing the ships between each other, but you can see right here, the mining lasers ripped apart that front part and then took out the command deck, and now it's just a distance thing. Some people have also hinted on the heavy lasers compared to small lasers. The main reason why I use the small lasers is just to force the AI to not shoot at your lasers or your disruptors. You see the laser disruptors survive, they then target the actual larger shields, because the larger shields is the bigger target. So if you're trying to force the AI to shoot at certain targets or certain things, it has to do with whether bigger lasers or the smaller lasers. And so the main reason why there's smaller lasers on this ship is to force the AI to shoot at the large shields. Obviously it doesn't help you none when you're doing PvP, but if you're playing against AI bots or playing the career mode, it helps a lot because the AI doesn't shoot at your larger lasers. They only shoot at the shields first, and then even the small lasers are not as big of a priority compared to the small shields. So the AI starts to target those instead. The nice thing about this ship too is it can even take on my 6 cannon ship without any issues. And that's where the armor issue was in play. So this front armor here, was always trying to find a way to get rid of it, or weaken it, or widen it, or I've changed its head so many times and I still couldn't find a better way. And the main reason is the targeting of the deck cannons and targeting of everything else. Now I may have weakened the front armor too much by putting in these frames and then also taking out armor. So that's another concern, so that's why we're also testing this too, to see how it does. But what happens here, and what should happen here, is this ship can even beat the 6-cannon ship, or should. I know we've modified it a lot, we haven't tested this of recent, but it should be able to. And then all has to do with the lasers and the AI and everything else. That's why there's not any heavy lasers on this, is you're forcing the AI to shoot at things you wanted to shoot at. And you can see already here, I've already taken off almost most of the deck cannons on this ship, and then it's going to take out this other one. And then normally it always takes out this deck cannon too, but now it has 2 deck cannons, and as long as it can survive the frontal head, I know I've weakened the frontal armor, but it can still survive versus 6 cannon. Like this mining laser ship is better than these deck cannons. You wouldn't think it would do that way, but it is. And that's just because we're not using any resources, we're not using anything else, it's just pure mining lasers. And then there you go, the ship's completely gone, and we've only sustained just frontal armor. We just lost frontal armor, that's it. No other damage. I mean, obviously the AI can start doing damage to weapon systems and other things, but in a 1-to-1 battle, completely destroyed my 6-cannon ship, my most recent 6-cannon ship, with all its modifications. That's how much more powerful this laser ship is. And it takes less crew. It is a little bit more costly, but it takes less crew, and it also has a sensor array on it. So, impressive ship. I really, really like it. Alright, we're going to wrap this up. So if you enjoyed this content, please feel free to hit the like button. It helps me out a ton. It helps push out this content to other people, bring awareness to it. If you like, please feel free to leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, especially what you don't like, so that I can improve and make better content. If you have not already, please feel free to subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, that's okay as well. Come back once a week, once a month. Check out what content I have. Thank you all for being here, thank you all for watching, and you all have a wonderful rest of your day.